Hey, welcome students. In this video, we're going to talk about how to take our Fusion 360 part files that you can see on the edge over here and start assembling them like I've got on my screen to form an assembly file. All right, so this step here, this is where we start doing some of the engineering. We can confirm that the 5 individual parts or components that we've made in Fusion 360 are going to fit together in that virtual environment. So we talk about prototyping a lot in our engineering class. A lot of times you think of a prototype as like a physical object that you can hold in front of you. So today we're going to make a virtual prototype. All right. And just as a reminder, I'm creating this design that I've got on my screen here. So I'm in Fusion 360. You can see I've got an assembly file open that I was practicing with. I'm going to close that down. I can kind of walk you through the steps. So right now, I'm in a new Fusion file. I'm on the design area on my tabs up top. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to save this first of all. Right? You're going to get an error message when you go to start putting components in here. All right, and for some reason I went to this cutting board one. I'm not making a cutting board. I want this to be my puzzle cube. There we go. My puzzle cube project. All right, so I'm going to call this my assembled puzzle cube. And then I'm going to save what I've got. So again, if you start trying to drag these objects over in a minute and it gives you an error message, it's because you didn't save this yet. All right. Now, the other thing we need to do is I'm going to go into those files that I was just looking at. So I got rid of that. If you're going, how did Mr. Coleman get that to show up? That's called my data panel. I can click here. And when you first land on your data panel, it's going to look like this. It's going to have a bunch of projects scrolled down here. And if you go to recent data, it'll display your most recent projects. Right? So the next thing we need to do on all of our parts is we need to turn them into components. So I'm going to click on one of my subtractive parts here and show you how to do that because I've already turned my puzzle cube parts into components. So where it says bodies, I'm going to right click and then I'm going to go create component from body. And that's all you got to do. Now it's turned into a component. We can take and put these into our assembly file. All right, so let's get rid of this shape. Oh, goodness. Oop. All right, maybe I got carried away with my clicker. I'm going to double click here, I guess, get my assembly file back open. All right, and now what I want to do is I want to start dragging some parts in here. I prefer to do this kind of slow and steady. I'm going to put 2 parts in here and assemble them, and then I'm going to go back and add an additional part until I've got all 5 put together. All right, so I'm going to start kind of on this front corner. You can see I've got a purple part that's got 3 cubes on the bottom, and then it's kind of tall. It interacts with this red part that I've got on the front corner. So those are going to be the first 2 that I take and put in here. So I'm going to take my red part from my data panel, drag it over to this assembly area, and then I'm going to click OK. All right. Then I'm going to take the purple part from here, and I'll drag that over and drop it in as well. All right, and then I'm going to say OK. Okay, so right now, oops, got a little carried away with my clicker. If I click on one part, you can see I can drag these around. I can move them anywhere in here. So I need to get these so that I can kind of put them together where they need to be. And to do that, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. My roller ball doesn't seem to be working, so I think I can click that and I can zoom in and out. And so the bottom here, this corner where my cursor is, this bottom corner is going to be even with this bottom corner. So what I'm going to do is go to this assemble area and I'm going to pick the joint tool. And then you can see as I lay it out on here, there's like a little disc that appears. I want to get that disc so it sits flat on that bottom inside corner, like so. Then I'm going to come up to this corner. I'm going to use my view cube and I'm going to tip that purple piece up. I'm going to get this out of the way. And I'm going to click on the corner on my purple piece that I want to interact with. And I want it to go right there. So I'm going to click. Now I can go back to my view cube here and I'll twist this around a little bit so we can see what's happening. I've got that piece in the corner where I told it, but it's not going the direction I want. So I'm going to come down to the bottom here and hit flip. Okay, now I've got the top and bottom aligned, but it's not twisted the right way. So I'm going to grab this blue grip and I'm going to move it until it snaps to 180 degrees. I see 180 right here. And that's how I want those two parts to fit together. And so I'm going to say okay because I like what I've got. And now I'm going to drag another part over here. I think this yellow part is going to be the next part I need. Kind of dropped it right in the middle, so I'm just going to say okay to that and drag it out. And now I can start figuring out where does this yellow piece touch the red piece. So I know this corner here is going to be even with like this top corner where the purple and red intersect. So again, I'm going to go to joint. I'll get my disc sitting on the top and use my view cube to navigate to the top of this piece, get that disc oriented the right way. I had a 50-50 shot. It didn't work, so I'm going to flip it. And now I'm going to rotate this. I think I need to go 90 degrees further. Oh, you know what? I should have had this corner here on the front corner, not the inside corner. So I'm going to cancel what we've got. I don't know, the roller ball on my mouse isn't working, so I'm having to use the old-fashioned zoom tool here. And we'll try the joint one more time. So this, okay, this corner here, let's do like this. This corner here and this corner here, I think should line up with each other. We're going to flip it, and then we're going to rotate this. Oh man, I am not doing good with this here. Let's give this a third shot. Okay, when this is going together, this back corner and this corner, all right, should be together, I think. Oh, there we go. So see, even Mr. Coleman struggles with it sometimes. I should have pretended like I was doing that on purpose, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of thinking to wrap your head around it. All right, so I like what I've got there. I'm going to stop talking and just put my next two pieces together. If you want to watch me work, you sure can. If you want to fast forward till I've got an assembled cube, that's fine too. Ooh, if you're watching, I'm pretty proud I got that one on the first try. Nope. Yep. All right, so hopefully you're back with me now as I've got this thing assembled. I'm going to come up to the position now, and I'm going to say capture position. That's just going to kind of lock all these in this position. And then the last thing I can do, well, I guess two things I can do here. I want to make this look like my example. So I'm going to kind of use the view cube here to rotate it around and get it. So this resembles the puzzle cube that I've got in my book, which would be this. Now I'm noticing that this tealish one and this yellowish one are maybe in the wrong spots. Maybe there's two solutions to this thing. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm looking at the bottom side. This is what I get. It's 3:29. You'll notice most of my videos are done at like 7 or 8 o'clock. I guess I need to go home and relax for a little bit before I try doing this. All right, so we're going to rotate this back, get it in a position that looks like my engineering notebook. That resembles this hand drawing. All right, now I've got the teal to the left, the yellow to the right. All right, so just to help me wrap my head around this, I'm going to click on the house, and I'm going to go set current view as home, fix to view, and then if I do end up spinning this thing around anymore, as I look at it and inspect, I can hit the home key, and it'll pop back to this area. All right. So I like what I've got here. The last thing I'm going to do is just zoom out a little bit. Oh, now I can't even make the zoom work. There we go. All right. And we're going to make sure nothing interferes here. So we're going to go to the inspect area. We're going to click on interference. I'm just going to click and drag a box around my whole cube. All right, so you can see all my parts are highlighted in blue. I'm going to come over here where it says compute, and it should give you the message I've got on my screen here. It says no interference is found. If it does find interferences, we've got to analyze why are those two parts overlapping, and what you might have to do, or you will have to do if they're overlapping, is go back to the individual part files, and then we're going to have to look down here at how it was drawn, figure out which one of these commands made it the wrong size, and then we may have to edit. So we may have to go back to like a sketch if something's overlapping and double check that all of your dimensions are correct. All right, so that's kind of the idea of making this assembly file. We can make a virtual prototype. We can also use it to make an exploded view drawing or a video of how these parts interact in the next step. So that'll be your next video. Check that out. Good job on making it this far.